This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and the latest news from Alpena Community College with Dr. Olin Joynton. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first two guests are both here from Alpena Civic Theater. I have Karen Thompson and Andrew McNeil. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to be here.
Now we're here today to talk about On Borrowed Time, Karen, but first we're going to start with Andrew. Now Andrew, this is your first time at Alpena Civic Theater and you said you're amazed at how fast this time has gone past. Tell me about your experience so far at Alpena Civic Theater.
Well, I've seen shows there in the past, but I went to the last show that had firebugs, and I was just kind of inspired, like, well, you know, maybe I should get back into this. It's something I've done since I was, you know, probably about 12 or 13 years old, acting, but I haven't done it in a while, so I thought, hey, why not? And I just went and tried out, and I got the part of Mr. Brink.
Which is a major role.
Yes, it's one of the major roles. I mean, it's an important role. I really won't go into too much about what you have to see the play if you really want to see what he does. But he's kind of like the personification of death, I guess. And this play is about, you know, just that, like life and death and everything like that. Unborrowed time is what it's called.
Perfect.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, we're all living on borrowed time.
Yes, we are. Too bad people don't realize that.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the production, Karen.
Well, you know, it's I'm helping Chip Lavely direct it, and Chip does think this might be his last production here in Alpena.
That would be very sad.
Yes, it would be. He picked the show. It was originally a play written and produced in the 30s.
Wow.
And it was made into a movie in 1939 starring Lionel Barrymore. A lot of people remember him as Mr. Potter in It's a Wonderful Life. And he plays the grandfather, which is the key role. And it's mainly about the relationship between the grandfather and his little grandson. And Mr. Brink comes to take the grandfather to heaven, and the grandfather doesn't want to go because his little grandson's an orphan and he wants to be there to help raise him. And also mainly to keep him from me, from the role I play in the play as an auntie who wants to get custody of the little boy so she can get his inheritance, mainly. I'm the bad gal, I guess. Can't say I'm a bad guy, but anyway, we have about 11 people in the play.
Okay.
Dan Nordenbrock is playing the grandfather.
All right.
And we also have, you know, Andrew, myself, Amanda Halsey, Scott Edgar, Rick Messler. Both of those people will be familiar to people here in Alpena from other shows. Patrick Skiba, who starred in the show last spring with me. Doug Neergarth, Tom Robson, Janet Romas plays the grandmother. And then we have two little boys from the Bingham Arts Academy.
Oh, wonderful.
That are playing. One is a little boy that tries to get up in the apple tree and steal apples, and the other one is the other main character of the show, Pud, the little grandson. And both these kids have never been in a show before, and they're doing a terrific job.
Yay.
Especially Davin Kuznicki, who plays Pud. The other little boy is Logan Den Blaker.
Okay.
Cute little redhead boy that I confront stealing apples from the apple tree.
Okay.
So they're all doing a great job. It's going to be a great show. It's going to open a week from tomorrow, on May the 8th, and it's going to run, so that's 8th through the 11th.
Okay.
And then the following week, 15th through the 18th.
That's just the following weekend, Thursday through Sunday.
Thursday through Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
Every night, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 7:30, and on Sundays, 2 p.m. matinee.
Okay.
So if people want to get tickets, they can call 354-3624 for reservations. Also, they're online at alpenacivictheater.com. That's all lowercase. And or you can go right to the theater at 401 River Street and purchase your tickets.
And your shows always sell out, so we encourage people to call, go online, go in person, get it taken care of, because if you don't, you might miss the opportunity to see On Borrowed Time.
Right, right.
Now, you said we have a very interesting set. Tell me about the set that Chip designed.
Yeah, Chip designed the set, as he often does when he directs. And it's a very different kind of set, but very attractive. It's one of the main parts is this apple tree that Mr. Brink gets chased up.
Okay.
And has to sit in for a good portion of the play, but it's amazing how Chip designed and constructed this tree, and that it will hold Andrew as well as the little boys who like to climb trees. And then the other part of the set is the house.
Oh, okay.
And Chip constructed it so that there's no real walls in the house, except for the back wall. You have to kind of imagine that the walls are there so that you can see right into the house.
Oh, okay.
And so most of the action takes place either in the house or the porch of the house or around the apple tree. So it's a very attractive set.
Okay.
And I have to say that
excuse me,
my husband helped with part of it. There are apple trees painted on panels around the set, and my husband designed and
ooh, yay, Jack.
help do
you know
those
he's a
trees,
wonderful
yeah.
artist. Okay, Andrew, what kind of an audience would you think would enjoy coming to this production?
Anyone, people of all ages. It's a kind of a family theme, you know. I mean, it's not really. I mean, it's tame enough for children. It's not really very dark or anything like that. It's kind of got a light feel to it.
Yeah,
so.
there's some funny parts, some comedic parts, and then there's some, other little poignant parts. It's kind of bittersweet in a way, but it's, it's about life and death, but death is part of life.
It is.
And that's kind of one of the themes of the play. So it's not really depressing or anything like that,
No,
but
not
it's
at
very
all.
touching.
Okay, we have enough time for you to tell us again when we can come to see On Borrowed Time.
Okay, it opens up a week from tomorrow on May 8th, and then runs that Thursday through Sunday, every night at 7:30, except Sundays at 2 p.m. matinee, and then the following week also.
Okay.
So Thursday through Sunday.
I think that's 15, 16, 17, 18, if I
Right.
remember the dates. Okay. Wonderful, and thank everyone there for, their wonderful contributions and for their dedication to theater in our town, and want to remind everyone, get there to get to see this because it's the last production of the season.
Right.
Okay.
As well as Chip says it'll be his last one.
Oh,
So
that's very sad. Well, tell
Right.
Chip, best wishes from all of us here, and tell him thank you so much for giving his talent back to our community for so many years.
Right.
And the number to call one more time.
354-3624, Alpena Civic Theater.
Okay, thank you both very much for being
Thank
here.
you.
No,
very
thank you,
much.
Nancy, for having us.
Please stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Talk of the Town. My guest this morning, Mr. Ed Howe. Welcome to the show, Ed.
Thank you.
And you are an instructor of social science of long-standing at our Huron Shores campus at Oscoda. Why don't we stop there and you tell a little bit about what it's like to work as an instructor at Huron Shores, and then there will be a new stage of your career that we'll focus on.
Yes, I started, it'll be 15 years ago this coming semester. And I've been an adjunct at mostly out of the Huron Shores campus, but I have taught in some of the outboard centers in the dual enrolled program for many, many years. So I'm very familiar with teaching and working with high school students as well as young college students. I have really enjoyed that time. I've been somewhat semi-retired doing that and enjoying that. And so ACC is a great place to work. We have a beautiful campus down at Huron Shores, a lot of updates, and money has been spent in the last few years, and it's really a good place to be.
You've actually been a contractor for some of the physical upgrades in the building.
I have.
A man of many talents.
I've got a little background in masonry work, and we've done some of the repairing brickwork and all in the building, and it's really looking good.
That's terrific, contributing on many different levels. Now, social sciences includes a number of different fields. Which ones have you taught, and which one do you like best?
Actually, I am a psychology type by my education. I do love to teach in the psychological field, but I also teach sociology, and I've kind of graduated over in philosophy, your area.
Wonderful.
And I really like that, and I'm finding a niche there as well.
Terrific. But at bottom, a psychologist, do you understand what makes people tick? Is that...
I do.
All right.
I do. I actually have a certificate in counseling
as
well.
Terrific. Well, good. And then starting several months ago this year, you have gone to work for us in a new capacity as a career liaison officer in a program funded by the Michigan Economic Development Council, a grant acquired by our sister community college, Jackson College. And so congratulations on being selected for that position.
Thank you.
And what's that all about?
Well, at the Governor's Economic Summit in 2013, with industry leaders, business, education, they noticed a shortfall, and the governor kind of brought attention to it, that we have a lot of young people that aren't aware of the jobs that we do have in Michigan. So it's called the Career Jumpstart Program. And there's a career liaison assigned to each one of 10 areas in the state of Michigan.
They're called prosperity regions, aren't they?
Prosperity regions.
That's a nice optimistic label.
Yes, it is. In fact, a lot of the programs in Michigan have now gone to the same prosperity regions. So we take this region, and like I say, there are 10 of us. We're in Region 3, by the way, Prosperity Region 3, and it covers all of Northeast Michigan from the lake to 75, from the bridge down to 55. So it's a very large area to cover. My job is to look over the area, review reports, do research, and establish what the highest demand jobs are in the Northeast region. Then the second purpose would be to go out and find all of the training partners. For instance, Alpena Community College can handle many of the needs that we have in the Northeast region. But when Alpena doesn't have a program, we then move to other training partners, let's say Kirtland or other regional institutions in the state. It's one of those things where once you get all that information together, then it has to be passed on.
Right.
So at that point, I get with the educators, I visit schools, counselors, parents. In fact, I've been to 9 school systems now so far. I have quite a ways to go. I've probably presented to well over 600 students and several hundred parents.
That's terrific. You presented a report on your work to the ACC Board of Trustees not too long ago. I believe manufacturing and welding were at the top of the list. What you're getting from employers as far as their needs for skilled positions that people can train for at ACC or other institutions?
Really, manufacturing in the 80s went way down in the state of Michigan.
Right.
Well, it is in a big resurgence now.
That's what I'm reading.
And I've been out and talked to many of the manufacturing companies, as well as other places.
So you don't just rely on secondhand data. You actually interact with the employers themselves.
No, it's probably the way that I work, and it's probably one of my strongest suits.
That's
is
good.
Meeting people and reading them and talking to them and finding out what their needs are.
Right.
They don't all the time use everything they could use to broadcast their data.
Right.
So you don't pick it up. So by seeing them and talking to them, I can build that relationship with them and get that type of information.
So the word liaison really is true to your activity. You're a connection point among the various parties, the manufacturers and the other employers, the school systems that have students wondering, well, what am I going to do with my life? Should I go major in psychology or go into one of these trades? And then institutions like ACC that can help students move from where they are into acquiring the skills for the trades that are in demand.
Exactly. You brought up a good point. You know, about half of our, 50% of our high school students are looking at that 4-year education.
Right.
But we still have 50% that can do other things.
Yes.
And the Career Liaison program is looking at the 2-year degrees and the 1-year certificates to allow an individual to get the training to fulfill some of these high demand jobs.
Something tells me that a lot of people who think they want a 4-year degree would actually end up being much happier and much more successful with one of these certificates or Associate of Applied Science degrees.
The cost of education and the ability to start work earlier is very attractive.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for being on the program this morning, and in a bigger sense, thank you for the work that you are doing to help people connect up with careers in northeastern Michigan.
Thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome.
This has been Talk of the Town with Nancy Smitham and Dr. Olin Joynton. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on Community. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.